Welcome everyone to Dick Storks and Destinies. I'm your host Chapel, and today I'm here with Crash and the Kid, and we're just live and unscripted this morning.
Yeah, and today's episode is sponsored and brought to you by Equal Opportunity Insurance, where your privacy is our policy. And if you can't find a policy to fit your privacy, we can always help you in that department.
That's right, we got a policy for your privates.
Well, I wouldn't say that much, but okay.
So how you guys doing today?
Well, I'm awake. I'm alive. I'm moving.
I'm partially awake.
Yeah,
I'm barely moving.
I feel that too. I had a long day yesterday.
And whose fault is it for such a long day?
Oh, it's my own fault. I don't deny that. I knew I had plans for the entire day yesterday, and that I wouldn't be getting back till like 7, 8 o'clock. But yeah, it's my own fault for staying up and only getting
And,
like 3 hours of sleep the night before.
and you put yourself through hell for only getting 3 hours of sleep.
Worth it.
Oh, worth it?
Yeah, worth it. It was worth it.
It was worth it.
It's like Griff Ball.
It's like, what?
Griff Ball.
Oh,
Some of our listeners probably don't know what that is. Uh,
I don't even know what that is.
that
So the listeners can't feel that bad.
So, do
okay.
you play ball with Griff?
Oh, come on, Crash. It's from that's from Red versus Blue.
Griff ball.
Yeah. Griff was the
What
ball.
they? Oh, oh.
Griff was the
See,
ball. Yeah.
I wasn't thinking about Griff from
Nah,
Red
I was
versus Blue.
thinking of the nerdy movies. You know, Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings doesn't have a sports event in it.
Well,
There goes
I mean, we can forgive Crash on that one because he's exhausted.
Yeah, that's true.
And I never seen it
You've never seen Lord of the Rings
or Harry Potter.
or Harry Potter.
Lord of the Rings
Exactly.
is great. It's fantastic.
I seen a
How
South
did
Park version of Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
okay? Well, at least you've seen something Lord of the Rings ish.
Yeah, you was about to ask me how I've gone so long without watching them.
Yeah.
Easy. Easy. When it comes on TV,
He turns the
change the
channel.
channel.
I've only seen the first Harry Potter movie all the way through. The rest of them I haven't seen yet. So
Well, I mean, I've seen all of the Lord of the Rings. It took a bit for me to watch the all of the third one because that one seemed like it drug on the longest. Not saying that I don't like it. It's just
Mm.
I was not prepared for the length of movie I'd had to sit through.
well, it's the climax of the three films. So it's kind of needed.
I've seen, well, I've sort of seen all of the Harry Potter films. Fell asleep through a couple of them.
That's to be expected. That's understandable. I'm sure right now we're getting a couple listeners going, excuse me?
Well, I mean, I will say this though. I watched the 3 Hobbit films and trying to figure out why the fuck they drug that book out for 3 fucking films.
That was the studio that wanted 3 films.
Bilbo's Tale isn't even 3 films long.
No, it's not.
2 at most.
No, not even that.
And that's stretching it.
Because The Hobbit is a really, really short film. Or, I'm sorry, a really, really short book. Like, it's not even... What? I think it would
that's
be...
the thing is,
more...
2 films is stretching it.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't even want to stretch it to the 2 films, because the animated film of The Hobbit was only 1 film, and it was like an hour and a half long at most.
Not even an hour and a half. It was like... I think its runtime was like an hour and 15 minutes. And it was made for TV, so... Yeah.
Right. Like, how did you all come up with 3 3 films, an hour plus each, long worth of content, out of one of Tolkien's shortest fucking books in his entire Middle Earth series?
Yeah, I don't know. I think it being so short was. I think probably my biggest issue with the 3 films is that they put Smaug like right in the middle of it.
Yep.
And his stuff didn't happen till towards the end of the book. So, yeah. And then there was everything that was happening, in the behind scenes that they did in the 3rd movie, but I don't know. Those movies are not as good as the Lord of the Rings movies. The Lord of the Rings movies are great. Especially like you got to watch the extended versions. The extended versions are the better versions of the films.
And Crash is sitting there going, well, they nerded out.
Yeah. 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 I was surprised. I didn't know if you guys were if we are going to be able to make an episode today, because I popped in and nobody was in here, and then Crash popped in and I was like, "Hey."
Yeah, he wrote me. I was on the phone with a buddy of mine. It was like, "Are you awake?" It's like, "Oh shit. Today's Tuesday. Today's the day for the podcast."
Yeah. Yeah, this will come out.
My bad.
This will come out tomorrow, and people will be like, "What? They record this a day beforehand?"
Yep.
So, like, I don't know, man. Like, I really want to do an episode where we're streaming us playing Helldivers, but I don't think anyone on Spotify is going to have any context for that.
I mean, I don't know how that one's going to work. I mean, I won't be able to join.
I mean, you could.
No, I can't.
You could. Somebody could stream it on the Discord, and you could watch.
Well, I mean, I can sit and watch it, but the last time that I did that with you guys, whoever streamed it, I don't want to know if we want to mention that person's name or not.
Mm-hmm.
But it kept lagging out to the point where I could either watch and not hear you guys talk, or not watch and hear you guys talk.
Okay. I got you. All right.
Now, from what I did see of, watching you all play Helldivers, that was highly interesting. I'd like to play the game, but as I told Crash, my wife has already told me no, not until I start, not until I start a job where I'm home more.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fair. It sounds like Crash crashed out on us. Just let me know if he wakes up. He's muted on my end.
I mean, if I hear him, I'll hear him. I think he might have crashed.
Yeah, he was pretty tired after work.
So I guess it's just now down to me and you.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Sounds like it.
Yet again, very reminiscent of old days where you and I would do the podcast.
Yeah. Yeah, back in the day when we had our previous podcast, we used to sit down, talk about stuff. We had some great times.
That's the thing, as I told you in the group chat for us on Discord. I would like to take some of our old content
Mm-hmm.
and redo it now.
I don't know if some of that old content would be acceptable anymore.
And one episode in particular, the zombie apocalypse. Just sit and talk about shit like that. You're right. Some of our old content probably wouldn't be acceptable today.
Oh yeah, no, we had some really hot takes back in the day, man. Whew. No, I think we could talk about zombie apocalypse. We didn't really have something that we had planned out for today.
I mean, today is just a day for us to have fun with because, well, our listeners don't know, but you guys do. I'm going to be starting a new job next week, so I may or may not be able to attend our weekly session here.
Yeah. So, okay, so first off, let's establish what kind of zombie apocalypse we're going to have. Because,
well, I mean, where would you like to lay the groundwork?
Well, let's start with first off, what kind of zombies are we talking about?
I don't know. I mean, hell, I always think of whenever people talk about the zombie apocalypse, my brain automatically goes to Patient Zero.
Well, yeah, okay. So you got disease, possible, genetic mutation or nanovirus, or there's also the magical route you could go, like magical zombies. But then you've got, when the zombies are up and walking around, what senses do they have? Do they have hearing? Do they have sight? Do they have smell? Where are they getting their energy from?
Hearing, I would say yes. Smell, I don't know. Sight would probably be light dependent. Like in the middle of the night, they're just fumbling the fuck around.
Okay. So, like,
I don't know. I mean, we've got so many fucking versions that you can pull from that Hollywood has given us.
Yeah. I mean, I guess everyone's pretty familiar with the standard, zombie apocalypse. It's a like plague like disease. Um, Usually audio, visual, sensories, sometimes smell, but almost never. That kind of thing.
Yeah, and that's what I was about to say is, you've got things that go back from like the Night of the Living Dead all the way up till the new stuff now with The Walking Dead, World War Z, 28 Days Later, that type of shit. So
Yeah.
I don't think those zombies would have a hive mentality, or would they?
Uh, I don't know.
I mean, they rove like a fucking pack of wild animals.
Yeah, but I don't think that gives them a hive mentality. A hive mind is more of they're interconnected. So like if something has a hive mind, if one thing knows it, they all know it. So like if you come across a small horde, if you pick up just a couple of stragglers, the whole horde knows where you're at.
Yeah. So, okay, so audio sensory, visual sensory, we've got that going on. Um, Sense of smell is dependent. Um, I don't know. Hell, I guess we'll leave them without hive minds. So, what would you classify that as? As your run-of-the-mill
Yeah.
type of zombie?
I mean, normally they don't use the olfactory sensories like smell and taste. Um, and I think the reason for that is so that they can give the people a chance. But I would think that giving them like very limited sight but very good smell would be a kind of nice counterbalance to kind of ramp up the tension.
Okay. Well, we'll say that they have limited sight due to light. If daylight they can see fairly decently, but in low light situations, they would have to rely on hearing and sense of smell over their sight because their sight's not going to be accurate enough for them.
Yeah.
So that would kind of balance it out to give you. I wouldn't call them like an apex predator-ish type of zombie, but you're gonna have to think on your feet and be fucking clever to escape.
Yeah.
So in that sense, how are they gathering energy?
Yeah, because they have
Yeah, I
to
don't know.
they have to have like energy to keep themselves going. Because like once they're dead, they don't their bodies don't produce the enzymes and proteins that you need to like get your energy back. And I guess like eating people would be an easy way to do it, but eventually you're going to have zombies that just never eat anybody or anything, and then they run out of energy and they can't do anything. It would be the same as starving to death.
I mean, that's the thing too, is you're gonna have, zombies are gonna get into a situation to where they're like pulled apart, ripped in half, cut in half, whatever. So they're not really going to have a digestive tract. I'm not going to sit here and say that they're going to eat human flesh and shit it out later.
No.
But I guess, fuck it. I guess that's how they gather energy. Is they're, even though they're dead and they're not really, their body really wouldn't be breaking down what they eat in the way that we break it down. They wouldn't really need to sleep. I mean, they're dead. I don't know. What would to you would be the best energy for them?
I mean, honestly, I feel like that's pretty self-explanatory. I feel like just the eating the people and them that you could just starve them out would be the best option. You hunker down, you build yourself a small community that's walled off, and you just wait for them to starve themselves out. Yeah, you're going to come across a zombie every once in a while after they're all starved out that's still around, that's been like getting the random person, but you're not going to have large hordes of them anymore. I guess that's really the only way you could stop the zombie apocalypse is you just starve it out.
But that would also go into if this is like some type of viral infection.
Yeah.
Because I mean, The Walking Dead clearly was something of a viral infection, because when they in the and by now this is not a spoiler alert for anyone, because if they haven't seen The Walking Dead by now, there's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
When they go to the CDC, the one person that claims that he was the head of the CDC and he stayed there told Rick basically that everyone was infected already. So it was something airborne. So whenever someone dies, they turn into the zombie. But getting sick doesn't mean that you're going to die. So
yeah.
I kind of feel like it would be something, what we're garnering towards here would be something like from The Walking Dead, but also like Zombieland.
Yeah.
But that's the thing with Zombieland that got me whenever they were talking about the different types of zombies that came in along with, are they, you had your run of the mill zombies, and then the zombies started to, I don't know, gain intelligence.
I don't know. I just remember the first Zombieland, and I don't think they elaborated too much on that.
Uh, the, the second one, Double Tap, they elaborated more into it, because they mentioned that they had their run of the mill, and then subclasses started breaking off. One that they called the Ninja, which was quiet, stealthy, would sneak up on you. Then they had the what they classified as like the Terminator one, which was bullets to the body wouldn't stop it. You literally had to fucking shoot it in the head to stop it.
Yeah.
And then the one that they dubbed as Homer, which was completely brainless, a butterfly would distract it. So
Yeah. Yeah, I like that. That's funny. It's Homer.
So they had different variants in that film. So I mean, would starving them out still work if something like that were to happen? And yet again, how would they evolve when they're already dead?
Yeah, no. I guess it would depend on, if the disease is turning them into a different life form. Because if that's happening, then they're no longer the same creature, and at that point they could evolve.
But would that make it more of a mutation instead of something viral now?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, I never really got into the graphic novels, and I don't think the graphic novels of The Walking Dead or the comic books actually explained what happened to the world. Just like all of a sudden one day the world went to shit.
Yeah.
And in the Zombieland films, they did say that Patient Zero, uh, it became an outbreak because of, I don't know, some popular fast food chain's chicken or something like that.
I think it was mad cow disease is where it started.
That would have to be an incredibly aggressive strain of mad cow disease to turn someone from a human being to flesh eating zombie.
You never know.
Like that would be pretty fucking aggressive for a disease like that.
It would. I agree. It would.
Well, I mean, that's something that I'm looking for in like a zombie apocalypse. But the thing of it is that I don't know how to say, what type of zombies these are.
Right.
I mean, you've got viral and potential mutation, along with auditory sense, sense of smell, and visual up to low light.
Yeah.
How? But therein goes, since they're dead, how much brain activity do they have, if any at all,
Right.
aside from their general motor function?
And is
Like,
that brain activity being received by something that's active in the head? Like if you really look at it, there's so much like with the zombie apocalypse. There's so many things that's just like this couldn't happen as far as we know. To the best of our knowledge, this could never happen because the brain just doesn't work that way.
so we would literally have to rewrite genetics
Yeah.
in order to have a zombie apocalypse.
Well, you'd have to rewrite the way we understand organic life. Because once something's dead, it's dead. It can't be brought back to life.
Yeah, I never really understood that term when they used it. The living dead.
That's why I personally prefer like magical zombies. Like if you don't know what the source is and you don't know what they're, you know, what's driving them. You know, it's not hunger, um it's not hunger, it's not a need to satiate some kind of urge. They just have the only desire they have is to kill life. Then it doesn't matter what kind of life they encounter, they're just trying to destroy it.
Okay, so this basically now becomes a hypothetical zombie apocalypse because nothing in today's biology and the way we understand how our genetic code works and how organic life works and everything else, none of that supports Hollywood's idea of a zombie apocalypse or a zombie outbreak.
Correct.
Makes for a really good film, but real world application just does not fit.
No. Okay, so let's just say we're going with standard zombie apocalypse. How do you survive?
Well, I mean, standard zombie apocalypse. How do you survive?
Mm-hmm.
You fucking hunker down, make night runs for supplies, move as quickly and as quietly as possible, and avoid loud defense weapons. That's the way I can say. So, no grenades, no dynamite, no boomsticks, no guns, no nothing. Just stick to fucking swords, knives, pitchforks. Hell, baseball bats with nails driven through it. Saw blades and shit like that.
Okay.
And when you hunker down and you stay put, stay in your area as long as humanly possible until the supplies run out.
Okay. And just keep scavenging for supplies in your local area if you can.
Yep.
Okay.
And if you can't, if you run out of supplies, that's when you go and look for, I don't know, more of civilization,
I don't know.
or find another area in which you can still get supplies from. Because I mean, at that point in time, if I'm going to say if at least 50% of the population is still alive, doesn't really matter. I mean, it does matter to a degree, but for most people out here, it's not really going to matter if you were next door neighbors or not. They're not going to trust you.
Yeah. No, they won't. That's what I was going to get at is, as soon as we, as soon as we descend to that point where people can just start building up their own militias, you'll have people just going out here and becoming warlords.
So, I mean, at that point in time, it's no longer the zombies that you have to worry about. It's Tom from next door that you'd have to worry about if he's going to slit your throat in your sleep.
Yeah.
or if Sally's going to, come in and steal all your supplies and make a run for it.
Yeah. Or if you'll have to kill Sally to keep your supplies to make sure that you live another day.
That's going to be the problem in this. Is how far will someone's morality and moral compass allow them to get in a situation like this? Like, are you gonna be willing to take someone else's life or multiple people's lives in order to ensure your survival?
Yeah. Yeah, I am. And I think a lot of people would be. That's just instinct at that point.
I mean, in today's world, are you so sure about that? With everyone, with so many vegans that we have out there, that
Oh yeah. No. These people, they're spoiled. They have no idea what they're talking about. If they went out there and they spent more than 15 days being out there being hungry and needing something, they're going to change their outlook on life.
I mean, me personally, I'm a meat eater. I'm going to survive. Because if our population dwindles from I don't know exactly the rough number or the exact number or rough number of how many we have in civilization today as a whole in the United States, but I know the world is like 8.6 million
Billion.
or 8.6 billion.
Yeah.
Okay, so it is billion. So we have like 8.6 billion people in the world. You cut that number in half, that brings you down to 4.3 billion people still left alive.
Yeah, that's still a lot of people left.
So you're not really concerned about repopulation at this point. But the thing of it is even I've watched like Star Talk and shit like that with Neil deGrasse Tyson and shit like that, where they talked about it, where in a apocalyptic setting where human life decreases, everything else around us is going to increase. Like because we're still predators. So even though you're a vegan, tree loving, no meat eating person, you're still going to become outnumbered, or the humans as a whole will become outnumbered compared to the amount of animals in this world. So I'm going to survive because I'm going to go out here and I'm going to kill a deer. I'll kill whatever animal I come across, and I'll figure out a way to make sure that meat stays preserved long enough for me to eat it, and I'll make sure that meat is cooked well enough to where I don't contract any type of normal shit that we would find with undercooked meat.
Yeah.
Like hunters have shown on TV shows and stuff like that, when it comes to bear meat, they say that you want to cook bear meat completely well done because of, I think it's like trichinosis or some shit.
Yeah.
The same reason why a lot of people used to not eat fucking swine or pig or anything like that, because it had that debilitating disease in the meat if you didn't cook it properly.
Yeah.
And fully all the way through. So I know that from a standpoint that I'm going to do that. I'm going to make sure that my meat is cooked properly, and I only kill what I need. I'm not going to get out here and go, oh, there's 5 deer in this herd over here. Let me take all 5 of them. I'm only going to take one.
Yeah.
Because that one will be enough meat to feed my family of 4. And if I happen to say, you know, me, you, Crash, Ken, we all happen to group up together. Okay, so I might have to go kill more than one deer.
Yeah.
That way I know that we have enough food at least for like a couple of days for the entire group.
But it's not like you're going
I'm
to have
not-
to kill a whole herd.
Right. I'm not going to take more animals than what is needed for survivability.
Right.
Or, hell, since, zombies and farmers and everything else, the domesticated animals, the cows get out, start roaming. Oh, look, there's a cow. I'll take one cow. That'll be more than enough meat to feed like an entire group for a week.
Yeah.
Or, get somewhere coastal and, get a casting net and get some bait fish up. And because that's the thing is we're still going to have all these supplies. That's something that always bothered me with the zombie apocalypse TV shows and movies. Like, why aren't they going and getting fishing supplies and shit like that? Because the rivers will have plenty of fish. Lakes will have fish.
Yeah.
The ocean is abundant in fish.
And not only that, but why? Let's say we're talking about standard zombie apocalypse. If the zombies are using have hearing, why wouldn't you use the cover of running water to
hide?
Yeah. It's the same thing with like the problem with A Quiet Place. Why didn't they just live by the river? Or behind the waterfall? It doesn't make sense that they didn't do that. Not to mention that you're telling me that this alien creature, its shell was so hard that it couldn't be penetrated by military grade weapons, but a fucking shotgun destroys it.
Yeah, I always love that shit. Military grade weapons don't take shit down, but the simplest backwoods of devices is its kryptonite. Like, make it make sense.
Yeah. We're going off tangent. Anyway, no, I get where you're coming from though. It does go back to that though. Like, why wouldn't you use the cover of like standard ambiance, noise to cover your movements and your living?
Find you a mountain creek, find you a waterfall, find something that makes an ambient noise throughout the fucking day and night. Build you a fucking fortified shelter with one point of entry and exit. Got, old military tactics. Fucking sharpen fucking sticks and place them up.
Yeah.
Be surprised at how many shit stayed. How well of a deterrent a sharp, pointy stick is to a lot of things out in nature.
Yeah.
Make you a few. What are they called? The fucking punji pits, where you dig a fucking hole and drive sticks in there and fucking sharpen the points and cover it with like weak vegetation, so the moment that they go to cross it, it's just step, fall in. Now they're fucking they're skewers.
Yeah.
Or they're skewered onto these sticks. Make that shit.
I also wondered.
Simple,
I also wondered why they never used like cliffs or anything in the zombie movies. Because it's like if you were able to get yourself to the opposite side of a cliff, the zombies don't have the intelligence of a person. They don't realize that they can't get to you. You just get their attention. They'll come over like the gorge or the cliff or whatever, and they'll just fall.
Right.
I don't know, man. Um, I do know I have some stuff to do today, so I'm gonna have to cut today's episode short.
Oh, I mean, if we got to cut it short, we got to cut it short.
Yep. Um. So to everyone listening, thank you. Uh, I know this probably wasn't the episode you were hoping for, but we wanted to talk about something fun. Considering our last two episodes were a little bit too serious. Um, and
Well, they were on the serious spectrum very well, so
oh yes, the spectrum of seriousness, definitely. All right. Well, you all have a wonderful day, and we'll see you next time.
later, everyone.